made me even more hungry to really particularly win against the two of them.
Playing him on clay in Roland Garros is probably the top challenge you can have in the history of our sport. I don't know how I won this match. I have no idea. When Federer, Nadal, and Murray retired, part of me left with them.
In countless interviews, Novak Djokovic has been clear. Without Federer and Nadal, he wouldn't be the player he is today. He's said their battles pushed him to the very edge, forcing him to dig deeper, train harder, and find new levels of greatness. Djokovic admits that every time he faced them, he had to reinvent himself. And it's that rivalry, that fire, that helped shape him into the champion we now call the greatest of all time.
I see it as you described it, as one of the greatest rivalries, definitely in all the sports. They have definitely been, in terms of the rivals, in terms of the other players, the biggest influence on my game. When I won my first Grand Slam in 2008, but the next one I won in 2011. So 3 years I waited to win another slam. I was playing on a high level, but I just could not win the Grand Slam because of these two guys. They were so dominant, and I didn't have the solution or the formula of success against them at that time. I could win maybe 1 or 2 matches here and there, but big matches, I was not winning. These 3 years have been really crucial for my development, and because it made me even more hungry to really particularly win against the two of them. Because I knew that if I continue, of course, my general growth as a player, but if I figure out the way to beat these guys in the big matches, and I knew that a lot of it comes from here, that I will kind of solve the riddle of a Grand Slam for me. Because I will start to win more Grand Slams. And that's what happened. Another thing that really helped a lot was winning a Davis Cup for my country, the only Davis Cup that we won for Serbia in 2010. That really gave me incredible confidence and wings, and I was like riding a wave. But the rivalries with these two guys have been amazing. And when Roger said goodbye to tennis a few years ago, it was, we all expected that moment to come because he's older than me and Rafa, 6 years, and we knew that he's not going to play forever. And it was a sad moment for the sport because Roger is an icon of our sport, incredible player that not only as a player but as a role model has inspired millions of people around the world. Seeing him say goodbye it was part of me and Rafa that went as well with him. And I was kind of hearing people they were saying, you might feel that, but I was like, I don't know. But when I was there and when I saw that actually happened, he said goodbye, I was like, wow, okay, this touched me as well, because even though we are big rivals, greatest rivals, as Cristiano Ronaldo was saying about him and Messi, they shared the stage for so many years, and we shared the stage as well. I saw them for many years more than I saw my mother, even though we haven't been really close as friends, but I'm quite confident to say that we've known each other pretty well, also from the locker room, as you can imagine. I understand that people like, Boca River, left and right, this, that, but that's why it was Roger, Rafa, and then Novak. What are you doing there? Who is this guy now? There is no space for third. But then I created the most beautiful threesome that tennis has ever seen.
The toughest opponent physically, Nadal. I mean, the battles with him were just grueling. The longest Grand Slam finals in history, in the finals of 2012 Australian Open, 5 hours and 53 minutes, I think it was. So almost 6 hours of grueling battle. I won that match in the fifth set, 7-5 or 7-6. It was just... I remember the closing ceremony after that. We were standing and listening to the sponsors' speeches. And at one point, we both simultaneously bent down and held our knees. And I could see his legs are shaking, my legs are shaking. And then someone saw that and brought us 2 chairs and brought us water. And we had to sit down and sit for the rest of the ceremony because we were just... I went into the locker room, took out my shoes, and I had blood all over the socks, on both socks, and I didn't feel it. Obviously, in this adrenaline rush on the court, you just go through the pain, you go through everything. But I had incredible matches against Nadal, clay court matches. I mean, clay is the slowest surface and most physical in our sport, and playing him on clay in Roland Garros is probably the top challenge you can have in the history of our sport. Because he was getting to every ball, and I was also very very good defender and always, and very physically fit. So we would like push each other to the very limit physically and mentally. It was at times almost like an out of body experience for both of us, where we would just, everything would flow. We would play incredible points that would last so long, exchanges. And, when you finish a match, then you realize, oh my God, it's almost like you were not playing it. It was like something took over, and just all your talent, the skill, everything was on a scale or on a platform that we created. It's like almost like an artist when he goes into on a canvas into his zone and just starts drawing some beautiful. That's how it felt, many times when I played him. And now when I talk about it and reflect, it gives me, a great sense of pride and satisfaction that I've had the rivalry that I had with him. And that, I feel like not only we both made history of the sport, but we both made each other better. And I feel like we brought so many incredible emotions to people who were watching us play. I strongly believe that there was an intervention, and there still is. There's higher forces in power that were helping me in some of the most difficult moments. I am a man of faith, and I really truly believe in God and a higher spiritual force that intervenes in the most difficult moments if you open your heart. I felt it on my own skin. Jay, to be honest, I really don't know how I won certain matches. I cannot explain it. Even with my team, after I would finish a Grand Slam final against Roger Federer in 2019 Wimbledon, when he was a far better player, I saved some match points and I came off the court. All stats were going his way. I won the match. And I just said, and I wasn't playing well. I wasn't feeling well on the court. And I was just like struggling and scrambling and trying to stay out there, stay alive. And I won in the end in one of the most epic finals in history of tennis. And then, I told to my parents and my family and my team, I said, and my wife, I said, I don't know how I won this match. I have no idea. At the same time, I do know deep inside that there's that connection happening, and that there's also that help. Sometimes there's this divine power that really, if you allow it, if you believe it, that really helps you come out of a trouble and achieve things. Those rivalries really shaped me into the person I am, into the player that I am, and definitely grateful for everything that I experienced with these guys. When Federer, Nadal, and Murray, my biggest rivals, retired, actually most recently, in the last year or two, part of me left with them. And I really feel that, because I thought, well, it's not going to be difficult for me to kind of shift my attention in terms of who are my principal rivals on the tour from them to someone else. But it is tough, because I'm used to these names, these guys, these faces for 20 years, and then new faces come in, and it's normal. How can I say, evolution of our sport, and it's normal that you have new generations that are kind of come in and dominate the tour. I'm experiencing something I have never experienced before, but that's also fine. I'm trying to embrace this journey, but also I think what is very important to me personally, and what I have expressed directly to all of my basically rivals currently today, the young guys who are going to be the carriers of the tennis for the next decade, is that I'm here for them to share my experience.